Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from PJ Media dated February 14th. And it says, Massive Academic Scientific Fraud Exposed. So now what are we going to see, especially after the Harvard stuff that came out within the last few months? So the article says, it turns out that the high priests of the science, trademarked, are just as susceptible to the earthly temptation to engage in corruption as the lowly peasants they rule over. It says via Stat News, it says emphasis added, it says there was a time when an allegation of data mishandling, scientific misconduct, or just a technical error felt like a crisis to Barrett Rollins, an oncologist and research integrity officer at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Now it's just another Tuesday. A renowned cancer treatment and research center is in the midst of a lengthy review of possible discrepancies involving 60 papers co-authored by 4 of its top researchers over a period of 15 years, including CEO Lori Glimker, I'd probably pronounce that wrong, and COO William Hahn, and is hardly alone. Over the past decade, the number of research misconduct allegations reported to the National Institutes of Health has more than doubled, climbing from 74 in 2013 to 169 in 2022. Jesus, that's bad, especially for like a cancer place or really anybody, but still. The scientific sleuths are finding plenty of other problems that don't always qualify as outright misconduct. This is via American Council on Science and Health, and again, emphasis added. Because according to a 2022 study in the Netherlands, over the last 3 years, 1 in 2 researchers had engaged frequently in at least one questionable research practice, with not submitting or resubmitting valid negative studies for publication being the most common practice. The fields of life and medical sciences had the highest prevalence at 55.3% of engaging in questionable practices compared to other disciplines. It says never publishing studies that show unfavorable results, or else not conducting studies in the first place likely to show unfavorable results even when doing the research would be a valuable addition to the general body of scientific knowledge, is likely a far more common corrupt practice than actively rigging of studies themselves, although that happens often as well, as seen in the case of the Pfizer COVID shots, among numerous other forms of data rigging activity to push them through the regulatory process for which no Pfizer scientist or executive has yet been punished, which they absolutely 100% should be. Probably going to get one of those little notes on this video about this as well because I said that, but oh well, it is what it is. Because maybe if Congress holds a few more sharp-tongued hearings on COVID malfeasance, we can finally get some action on the prosecution front, but that's a story for another day. I'm not holding my breath. Does this era of research must be the science, trademark's, own version of the Brandon entity's most transparent administration in history hoax? Brandon entity being Joe Biden, if you're not aware of that reference. But yeah, most transparent administration in history that doesn't say anything. Like the fact is right now, as I'm recording this, they're actively trying to cover up the fact that Joe Biden's brains are applesauce, something we can all see, but they're just like, no, it's not a thing. You didn't see that. Move on. There's nothing to see here. So it says via mydoctor.au, emphasis added, the COVID-19 vaccines are the most closely scrutinized vaccines in human history for safety and done so in such large numbers. First, there are the clinical trials, which were done with each vaccine. These trials were done with approximately 40,000 people each. The minor side effect is that in the first couple of days, you'll feel a little uncomfortable and just not right, but it will shortly go away. This is from Dr. Norman Swan, physician and journalist. It says, call me a conspiracy theorist, but something tells me all the fraudulent studies published by Pfizer lackeys in the service of promoting the most scrutinized vaccines in world history. Something tells me all the fraudulent studies published in the service of promoting. I feel like that's not a complete sentence, that last part. But okay, I think I get what they're pointing out here, what they're trying to say, that these aren't really the most scrutinized things. I don't know. Am I reading that wrong? Just tell me. I'm not a smart man. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, what do you think about this? I mean, you think into like all these industries now. I mean, this has nothing to do with the colleges and, what happened at Harvard. But still, I mean, it's people that we're supposed to be taking their word for it are just not doing their jobs, and they're lying to us about all this stuff. So what do you think about this? This is kind of scary. Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.